We love to mumble. We love film. We are CINETWINS.
We love movies. I don't know if you guys knew that. We love movies.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, everybody, to CINETWINS with Jas and Jessie. I am CINETWIN number one, Jas,
And I'm CineTwin number two, Jessie.
and this is a very special podcast to me, anyway, because I get to hear from the leading scholar of mumblecore.
Oh, I don't know about that, but it's special for me because I love to talk about it, and usually nobody knows what I'm talking about. Um,
Least of all
and
me.
yeah, and now I get to share my opinions and my thoughts and my pretentious movie genre, from my pretentious childhood. So,
And
no.
remind me again, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Seattle. Wanted to mumble
Pretentious, like
for,
capital pretentiousness number one.
yeah, leading mumblecore city, Seattle, Washington. I'm surprised that none of the movies we watched took place in the Pacific Northwest. Maybe I was deliberate in that choice, even though like I waxed poetics about how tied to Seattle it was for me, like the decision to get into it. And then every movie we watched was like so completely far from the West Coast. Like we had one in Canada.
It took me about 15 minutes into the movie to be like, where exactly are we?
Well, yeah, I think about 10 minutes in for in between days, I Googled it and I was like, where was this filmed? It was Toronto. So,
Yeah, I thought it was in South Korea. But then like we one of the
no.
scenes was like in the classroom and it was like a white man. I was like, huh?
Yeah, no, because it's a story. Yeah, like I read the byline, and she is an immigrant, but it just didn't say where. But no, it was Canada of all places.
Canada.
Okay. I don't know what that is in reference to.
Bad Bunny. Shout out to Bad
Oh,
Bunny.
shout out Bad Bunny, friend of the pod.
Yep.
I was that. Oh, that was in his halftime show performance. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was fun.
It was. I watched the Super Bowl because the Seahawks from Seattle, obviously, were
Yep.
playing. Shout out to the Seahawks for winning.
Friend of the
Um,
pod.
friend of the pod, the Seattle Seahawks. Um, but I watched it in like real dive bar. Like when we got there, they had run out of soda, and the bartender, who was barely 21, was like, "Give me 5 minutes. I have to run to 7-Eleven to go get more soda." Um, and then they had three TVs, but only one had sound, and it wasn't on. And we had to ask them to turn on the sound, but it was so quiet that the 10 of us in the bar all huddled around the one TV in the very back of the bar to watch Bad Bunny's performance.
10
So
people. Wow, what a packed bar.
when we got in, there was three, not including the
Whoa,
bartender.
that's crazy.
And then a few more joined at the time of the halftime performance.
And then
Yeah,
once it was
really,
over, everyone left.
it's a real dive. Like the only other time I've been there, like the one bathroom stopped working, like about 2 hours into the night.
Wow.
They were just like, I guess it's just not gonna work tonight. And it's like you're not worried about that? Like you've got 55 plus people in here and you're not worried? That's the kind of lifestyle I live.
Free and loose.
Just real crappy bars.
Crappy bar hopping. What is
Yeah,
it called? What's the term? Is there a term?
it's bar crawl.
Bar call, yeah. Because I
But
was
I think
thinking bar
bar,
hopping didn't really sound right. I think I was thinking of cafe hopping, which
yeah,
is
I
like,
think you could use bar hopping, but like it's I think most commonly bar crawl.
yeah, I think by the time you get from bar 3 to 4, you're crawling, you're not really hopping.
Yeah. On
Maybe
this
shopping.
pod, we do support
Small
alcohol
businesses.
and small businesses. Yeah. We in that order.
Yep. Number one, alcohol.
Yeah. What are you drinking tonight, Jazz?
I
We're recording this as special. We're recording my morning, Jazz's nighttime. So I'm excited to see what the energy is like because normally you always get me at night.
and this is like the first time like ever that we've zoomed uh in reverse, I guess you could call it like that.
That's true.
Yeah. So Jessie has never seen my room at night. She's never seen me in my grubbiness. I'm not that grubby.
I like how I get the morning slot and I still don't look better than when we film it. It's a good thing this podcast is audio because like I'm putting in no effort into my appearance every time that I'm on the call with Jazz.
I'm
It's
just
either
wearing a
I'm in
hoodie.
bed, yeah,
I'm
I'm in
always
my
in bed.
boring. So
Yeah. I'm drinking a Guinness. Shout out Ireland.
shout out Guinness. Shout out the proud nation of Ireland. I'm
We
not even
love
doing
you.
accents.
I'm like 0.5% Irish.
Yeah, my grandma says like we have Irish in us. I think it's because her hair is like kind of red. Um, but I don't really believe it's that much.
I believe it. My hair
But
is red. Uh,
well,
naturally. Naturally?
naturally, of
Naturally.
course.
Yes.
Naturally, of course it is red.
Let's talk about movies.
We should.
Uh,
Okay, I have a question actually before we talk about mumblecore specifically.
hit me.
It'll lead us into mumblecore. Have you watched anything good recently outside of like our picks?
Mm, anything good?
Or
Uh,
anything? No.
anything good is subjective. Let me just run through my recents. Um, I watched the Michael Jackson biopic. Uh,
Mm.
that was fun. It was fun. Like, his music was fun. My theater was fun. Everybody was hyped. The very first thing you hear, like when the titles come in, was his signature. And
That's
I like got the biggest cheer. Everybody was hyped.
that almost feels like it's like trolling
Yeah, I think so.
to have the hee
Yeah.
hee.
And
I still have to see it.
I I am of the opinion that they should have just like cobbled together like um a bunch of his music videos or just re-release another concert because
Mm.
that would have like the same effect as this biopic. Nobody really
I
cared about the plot stuff. No offense.
Yeah. I have heard it's a lot of concert footage. Is it concert footage of the actual Michael Jackson or of what is it, Jafar Jackson
Yeah,
is
Jafar
his
Jackson.
nephew?
Yeah.
Is it
Uh,
him performing or is it actual Michael concert?
I honest to God, hand to the Bible. I'm not Christian. I don't know. I can't
Okay.
tell. My mom thinks so. Um, this is the first mention of a mother. It's mine. Wow.
Yeah, this is
Uh,
a rare twist too, where you and your mom saw something and it's not me and
yeah,
my mom seeing something.
yeah. I think it's the nighttime vibes. But yeah, my mom thinks that they like spliced together real concert footage and like the close-ups were Jafar Jackson. I
Mm.
honestly couldn't tell. I'm not really like I don't shoot for Michael Jackson like that. Did he die by shooting? I hope not.
No, there was I think like medical stuff. I actually don't really know that much about Michael Jackson. My mom
Neither.
has been wanting to see Michael, and so because she hasn't seen it yet, she's been watching a lot of like interviews and videos about him. And so I, by proxy, am beginning to learn about Michael Jackson, who I admittedly really don't know much about.
Hmm.
And I like remember kind of like his death because I think they were investigating the doctors. He was like sick and there was something, it was complicated, but I don't want to say false facts
Yeah,
either,
I
but
don't know either. But Billie Jean, what a tune. What a tune indeed.
yeah,
Billie
he
Jean.
does have some good music. I gotta see it. I haven't been able to really prioritize going to the movies that much,
Yeah,
except
life
for
gets
like
busy.
last weekend. Last weekend was a big movie weekend for me, but yeah, I got to
Why
see Michael. I
why don't you
saw,
share with us what you did last week?
yeah, last weekend, the critically acclaimed movie that I saw was The Sheep Detectives.
Not
I
exactly what I thought you were gonna say, but
Oh,
okay.
I'll share that too. But I did see The Sheep Detectives, and honestly, it was really good. It was a good movie. I might have been not sober watching it at like 10:30 at night. I think I would have enjoyed it just as much though. It was funny, like very like clever humor. There was a few jokes I'm not too proud to admit. They did go over my head, and then I had to have them explain to me like I was a child. But it was sad. I cried a little bit. It was very like emotional, and I think I would be worried about what age a kid should be watching it because I was watching it as a 26-year-old and I was like, I don't want to see this.
Oh,
So I can imagine a kid would.
oh
Because there was
no.
like there was some graphic stuff with the sheep that like was really upsetting to watch. But it's
Oh,
not as good as the Paddingtons, but it's probably on par with Paddington 3, which is the worst Paddington movie, but it's still quite good.
I honestly forgot Paddington Tree existed.
I
So
did
there you
too until
go.
this week. So but no, The Sheep Detectives was pretty good. Maybe it was better than Paddington 3, but I really enjoyed it. But the other movie I saw, and this is how it meanders
Mm.
back to the subject of the month, I saw Joe Swanberg's new movie at the Chicago Critics Festival. The Sun Never Sets, because it's filmed in Alaska in the summer, and famously in Alaska in the summer, the sun never sets. It's light all day and all night. Um, and I got to talk to Mr. Mumblecore at the end and talk
The
about
mumblecore.
yeah, talk about the genre, talk about how much I loved it. I trying to convince him to get Greta Gerwig back into acting. We'll update you, I guess, to see how that goes.
He will like
Maybe.
personally text you, like, hey, we got her.
Yeah.
We,
Jeff
we did it,
Stolberg
Joe.
he's like kind of a crazy producer of media, I guess is a good way of putting it. Like he hasn't made a movie in 10 years, but he's been producing stuff behind the scenes. And I think he made a TV show at some point in the last 10 years, but he really hasn't been doing much. But like in 2011, I think he had like four movies come out and he also was acting in seven. And then when he was doing the Q&A at the end of The Sun Never Sets, like they were talking about how he was on a break and he's like, "Oh yeah, I've already shot my next film and it's being edited." And he's like, "Naturally, I would come back from this break and immediately have like five projects going on." Um
Okay,
so
workaholic alert.
yeah, and then he'll probably like stop for like 6 years and then come back with like 10 more things. But it's fun to see like because mumblecore is so based in the age of the people making it. And it's really just like reflections of themselves and like the lives that they're living. And now he's kind of still doing that, but in a much more polished, like adult way. Like you can watch his films, they're incredibly improvised. Like he doesn't really write dialogue. He has the actors improvise most of what they say. And then like he just has like feelings that he's trying to evoke in the scripts. But it's about like something that he went through in a way, and then also something that he didn't go through, but he was relating it to like his own experiences. And it's just about like middle-aged people and like people kind of like figuring out middle-agedness, adulthood, which is interesting, I think, because like so much of mumblecore is figuring out young adulthood. So I like seeing that kind of thread carry on throughout his work.
That's nice. I think there should be more like uh coming of age for middle age, you know? Because when you think of like coming of
Yeah.
age, you tend to think like teenagers, even though like
Hmm.
I also wish that there were more coming of age like college age, but middle age
Hmm.
especially, because that's like a
Yeah.
whole nother thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and like it was following a divorce, but it was also following Dakota Fanning's character, and she was great in it. And she's like in her young 30s, and all her friends are like married and having children, and she's like, "What do I want out of my life? Like, am I ready to go into that step of adulthood?"
Hmm.
And then she's with like her boyfriend who's already gone through all that and doesn't want to do it again. And it's just like navigating those like phases in life. And yeah, with college coming of age, it's always like party culture and
Yeah.
like drinking and sex and drugs and like blacking out. And it's like cool. Right on, you know. I love a college party movie just as much as the next person. But I feel like college is a really um like
Eye-opening
precarious.
time.
Yeah, you're kind of just like you're on the precipice of becoming an adult. And you're like technically you are an adult, but I don't think you're quite the adult that you are going to be when you're an adult. And you're just figuring that out. And I would like to see a little bit more like introspective. Actually, I do have one introspective college coming of age that feels very like mumble adjacent, which is Shit House is
I think I've heard of that.
not, yeah, it's not what I would have expected from the name, but it's really sad, kind of, but it's like that deep kind of like, I'm going off to college. This is my chance to kind of start over and figure out who I actually want to become. But that fear of like taking the first step to do it.
Mm.
It was
Yeah,
pretty good. I would recommend.
I'd love to see it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so I met Mr. Mumble talking about
How
mumblecore.
was he like as a person? Like was he
He's so
nice?
chill. He's like such a nice guy. And he sounds like a little bit like Dylan O'Brien. He has that kind of like nasally voice a little bit where it's like laid back, but a little just like a tiny bit. I don't want to say like annoying, but like you know what I mean? Like how Dylan O'Brien sounds, that's what Joe Swanberg kind of sounds like.
Yeah, I
It's
get it.
this isn't even niche or reference, but he's very like he sounds a lot like Alex Moffat too. On SNL. They have
That's
that like
like
kind of similar voice.
that is a very, very niche pool, I think.
For our listeners, you of course know Alex Moffat, previous SNL player, famously guy who just bought a boat, who inspired Ryan Gosling's Ken when Greta Gerwig was making the Barbie script. She was directly, and this is a fact, she was directly inspired by Alex Moffat's guy who just bought a boat character when writing Ken. And the
Let them
reason
know.
that yeah, the reason that Rygos is like that as Ken is because of Alex Moffat. So
Thank you,
shout out
Alex
Alex
Moffat.
Moffat. Yeah. But that's what
Technically, like he should get a a what is it? A retrospective Oscar for that?
yeah, I think he should be like an official scriptwriter. Replace Noah Baumbach because like I'm sure he didn't really contribute much. And put Alex Moffat. Greta Gerwig and Alex Moffat wrote Barbie.
I think Alex Moffat should get a Nobel Peace Prize for his work on SNL.
I think so too. To really humanize a Trump the way that he has, but still make it that you are clearly making fun of him. It's so good.
Inspiring.
His work is yeah, his work as Eric Trump is phenomenal.
And like of course it can't be overstated. His work is either Bert or Ernie, I can't remember.
He was
One of the Muppets.
he was Bert. I had to look
Look,
at my Bert and
yeah,
Ernie
looking
studies to
off at the
figure it out.
side.
And then I had to look at it and I had to think about what Mikey Day and Alex Moffat's head shapes look like. But Alex Moffat was Bert.
Inspiring. He inspired millions.
Yeah, he inspires me every day. I don't know. Yeah, what movie should we start with? Should we, speaking of Greta Gerwig, should we do Dish in the Spoon?
Yeah, I think so. I loved it.
This is my favorite mumblecore movie with true adolescence. These are like my favorites.
Speak on it. Why do you like it so much?
I don't know. That's a really, really deep um answer. I don't know. And I don't remember why I liked it so much the first time I watched it. And this is a rewatch for me. The other two are new. But when I chose this, because I knew I wanted to show you one of my absolute favorites, and True Adolescence is just too hard to find. But when I chose it, I was hoping that I would have a realization why I liked it so much, like, and it would kind of open up and tell me, like, this is why you connect to it, this is why you enjoy it. But I just do. And, there's nothing I think that I personally latch on to where I feel like it is like relatable in the way that a typical like mumble flick is. I just love it. I love Greta Gerwig's acting in it. It's a different variation of like her character that she normally plays, which is why I also wanted to choose it because normally she's like very manic pixie dream girl. And this is a little bit, she still is that kind of like whimsical, like oddball, but it's much more like darker and like
Mm,
angry. And I feel like she just does a really good job portraying that kind of like aggression and those like feelings that she's going through. And she's kind of like not nice.
yeah,
She's not really nice.
she's so mean in it, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love seeing her mean because I think she really is like just genuinely very nice and like a chill person. Like, when you see her in like interviews and such, and then like her on-screen roles are pretty like sweet, the sweet girl.
hmm
I love that she was able to just be mean and angry and like off-putting in this one. Like
Yeah,
not
like
really likable.
yeah, you don't want to like be around her. You don't really root for her because she keeps like you feel bad for her in the situation, but then she keeps doing things where it's like, "Oh, I don't know if that's the best way to go about this."
Hmm.
And usually like we were saying like she's so likable and she's usually a love interest. She's like an object of affection by the main male characters, and it's usually multiple male characters. Like within a movie, she is their like crush or love interest because she has this um like
Larger than
air of
life. Yeah.
yeah, she draws you in and I use the word a ton, but like she's very charming
Mm.
and is able to put that charm on to multiple people in her like roles. But in this it's like I don't I don't like her. Like I don't like her character. And you start the reveal at the end of the movie kind of makes me think that very rarely will I vouch for a man, but like it makes me feel like maybe he didn't actually cheat on her and she just fabricated this kind of like thing in her mind.
Mm.
And it almost felt like he was used to her behaving this way, where he's like,
I
"Are
was
you
gonna say,
home
yeah.
now?" Yeah. And then she kind of just like breaks down and like lets it go. And then, it makes me think like, oh, maybe like this was all in her head and she just got angry,
Maybe she just had
which
her
is
like
okay.
annual breakdown, annual
Oh,
crash out.
yeah. And like, we gotta let women be angry more often for no reason. Like, she didn't need to be justified, I think, actually, in her anger.
I think all women, no matter what they do, we should just give them a pass to be
Yeah.
angry and messy and just, punch
Yeah,
people.
she's so great at it in this movie. Like her like ugly crying in the car and screaming in pajamas and like driving drunk essentially and practically kidnapping this kid who
We're not even
we
sure he's a kid, but like he probably is.
he's probably like 20 years old. We have no clue why he's in America. Um, and he's sleeping in a lighthouse in some beach town. And picks him up, takes him out of the lighthouse somehow, and puts him in a car. And they
Brings
have
him
this
to a
like,
diner.
yeah, this like weird platonic, meaningful relationship where they talk about getting married, but it's so clouded and like we know this is like a joke. Well, at least I think on Greta's end, it's very much a joke. And then at the end of the movie, you kind of, I think, see like how it was more serious for him that he had this like intimate experience with her.
It feels quite uh childishly innocent in a
Hmm.
way, like she was saying, like, oh, let's get married and let's have like 10 children and they should all look like you and they should all have your teeth, yada yada yada. It's very
I love
romantic.
that scene.
Yeah, but it's like, it just feels like little kids saying like, yeah, let's get married like our parents and yada yada.
Hmm.
It's very
Yeah.
cute. Yeah. Because like the boy, I don't know his name. I don't think they gave him a name. But the boy is very like he has that childish whimsy to himself and like I mentioned this in my review. I thought it was very cool to see like the manic pixie dream girl trope get given to him. So he's a manic
Mhm.
pixie dream boy, and then Greta's like the messy, like nuanced character,
Yeah.
and he's more like flat a little bit.
Yeah. Absolutely. Maybe that's why I like it. I think it has like, yeah, that subversion going on. Um, I think honestly, it really boils down to I think Greta's just fantastic in it. And
Yeah,
I
she's great.
love her as an actress. And Mumblecore like got me introduced to her acting capabilities. I've loved her as a director since Lady Bird came out, and I am a Greta defender. Hi Dexter, my cat decided to join us. Um, I think he's gonna try to drink my tea, but um, okay, don't kiss. Sorry,
He
he
just
just
walked
decided
across the screen.
he just decided to step on the computer. We're good. But yeah, no, I've loved her directing and writing since Lady Bird came out, and that's probably like one of my all-time favorite movies ever. And yeah, getting into Mumblecore, I was like, whoa, like she's good at what she does in this niche. I would not say that she probably could go on to be like a very well recognized actress or like broad in multiple genres, like I don't think she has that kind of range. But in this like niche, in this genre, she really excels.
I think Mumblecore really uh I'm losing the word, but I think it really plays to her strengths as an
Mhm.
actress. Yeah, because she has such a naturalistic approach to acting, very,
Mhm.
improvised and stuff, very rooted in realism.
Yeah, I mean, and that's how most like mumblecore actors really try to be. That's why they cast a lot of like their friends, and sometimes it doesn't always work. I know that was something that you mentioned in I think your letterbox review for Quiet City. That sometimes the tension feels like forced or too like um
Manufactured.
manufactured, thank you. That was the word I
Yeah.
was looking for. But hers is like kind of the blueprint of like what I think a lot of people try to end up being with their like approach.
Yeah.
Um, and it feels over the top, but in a way that it's like people like that, like
Yeah,
not
it's
you and me specifically, but like people are like that. You've at some point interacted with somebody who has like a Greta Gerwig personality and it's like, yeah, that's just how they are. It doesn't feel put on.
People are that dramatic in real life,
Yeah.
and that's
And they're
okay.
messy, they're flawed. And you know what I really love
Mhm.
about mumblecore and like this movie? They just look like people, you know?
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. Real people on my
Yeah,
screen.
because like usually, and this happened in both Quiet City and In Between Days, where the lead actress and the lead actress in Quiet City was really, really good.
She was
Um,
so good. I loved her so much.
yeah, and it was
She
their
added to
only
it.
movie that they ever did, were those two actresses from both movies. That was the only movie that they've ever done. And it's
Yeah,
like that speaks to it so much of like they'll just be in like one thing probably because their friend asked them to and they were available, or maybe they were in film school and they're like, I'll give it a shot. And they're just like they're not overly dressed up, they're not overly like putting in makeup or anything, like, you know, they're wearing normal clothes. It's probably just the clothes that they naturally wear.
yeah, the
And
ones
there's
that's
something,
already in their wardrobe.
yeah, there's just something to it that I really love. There's a Swanberg movie that I haven't seen. And it was one of his later ones, like that wasn't truly like strictly mumblecore, but he filmed the entire movie in his and his wife's like apartment here in Chicago. They didn't rent a space, they just filmed it in their actual home, like with all their stuff in it. And I think it has like Anna Kendrick, and it's like maybe like a Christmas movie or something. I think maybe Greta Gerwig's also in it still. Um, but yeah, it's just like, yeah, they're just like using what they have.
It's convenient.
And
It's cheap.
it's just nice to see real faces on screen.
It's nice to see real faces and real home.
Yeah.
You really don't you don't notice how like uh dressed like a set is until you watch
Hmm.
like an older film where like they
Yeah.
actually make a space lived in. 'Cause I think movies nowadays, I recently watched Devil Wears Prada 2, and like
Mm.
I know the whole thing with that movie is like, looks and whatever, like a magazine. But like even Anne Hathaway's apartment, it just looks like it came from like HGTV or something. It doesn't look like a
Yeah.
real place.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Because that was like talked about with the drama where like the house was too nice for the characters, like realistically. I don't think it was probably too nice for at least what Robert Pattinson's character was making. I mean, Boston's like incredibly expensive, so there's that.
Yeah,
But
but
it
it
felt
still looked,
homey.
yeah, it still looked quite like messy, lived
Hmm.
in. The
There's
bookshelves weren't like,
personality.
yeah, there was like clutter around. Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely. I have not seen The Devil Wears Prada 2. I probably won't see it. I'm gonna be controversial. I don't think the first one's very good. And I don't really get the hype and like nostalgia for it because every time I rewatch it, I'm like, this movie is mid at best.
I think
Out of-
I think people are misremembering it. I think what they really
Absolutely.
latch on to is just the montages and the look.
Hmm.
That's really it. And of course, Meryl Streep's a blue sweater monologue.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Florals for spring. Groundbreaking. A sequel 15 years later. Groundbreaking.
And Meryl Streep has actually like admitted, she's gone on record to say that they offered her they asked her if she was interested in doing the sequel, and she said only if you like paid me like X amount of money, and they're like, oh, okay. And then she did it. So really it's just for a paycheck.
Nice. Good for
It's
her.
Yeah, it's,
Um,
it's not like they care about um the
no,
legacy of the movie.
no. Or making something good.
Yeah.
Because why? Because it's just like, piggies are gonna eat up slop if you put it in front
Yeah.
of them. And
Why
it's like,
why why would you want to make something good when you can make something quick?
Yeah, and it's going on to gross an incredible amount because, if you put slop in front of a pig, they're gonna eat
Mhm.
it.
Yeah, and
And
because
that's where
because
we're
it's
at.
not and because it's not a Marvel movie, people will go, "Hey, look, people still care
Original
about movies."
cinema.
Oh, quote
Yeah.
unquote.
It's not based on pre-existing IP. It's like actually it is. It's a sequel 15
Yeah,
years after the
a
the
sequel
original.
is, IP.
Yeah. And I read a article, I think on Substack, about how the Devil Wears Prada 2 like universe and advertising is no longer playing a joke on the fashion industry and like capitalism, but rather it is now imbued with it because now Anna Wintour's in on the joke that
Mm.
is initially making fun of her character. And they have like her real life assistant that like Emily Blunt's character is based off of, like talking about it. And like there's all these ads for it where they're like, oh, Anna Wintour's like cheeky. She's a human being just like you and me. And like Meryl and Anna Wintour like on the cover of Vogue together. And it really just feels like publicity for Anna Wintour's like retirement that she like has been soft launching for like years and it hasn't stepped down from yet. So like she has a new editor in chief at Vogue, but like she is still, I think, running the behind the scene all the decisions.
She's so Logan Roy.
She really is with her
Oh,
little bob
also
and her sunglasses.
iconic, I guess. She's also in the movie.
She's
So
in the movie.
yeah, she made a cameo. Her and
Oh
Lady Gaga.
God. And that horrible comedian that I hate. Ugh.
He had a pretty significant role.
Are
That
you
pissed me
kidding
off.
me?
Over
He's
Simone
so
Ashley, by the way.
unfunny.
He
He's
really
what?
is. But he had a significant role, more significant role over Simone Ashley.
Of course.
Simone Ashley just
Of
can't catch a break.
Let's give it to the unfunny white guy.
Undeserved. He was sitting down the whole time, by the way.
Of
Like that
course
was
he
the joke.
was.
That was the joke. He couldn't move from his desk.
That's so funny. Oh my God, that's so funny. I'm like dying of laughter. You did it again, Devil Wears Prada. Funniest movie ever. Oh God, it's just so bleak. At least we have the
Slop is
sheep
slop.
detectives.
Isn't that like original, technically? I
Yeah,
don't
and
know.
the writer is like the writer from like The Last of Us or something.
Okay.
Like, it's wild because I watched like a clip of Nicholas Braun talk about like what drew him to the role. And I gotta admit, I at certain points forgot Nicholas Braun was not British. He did a really good British accent.
This is a British film?
Yeah, it's
News
British.
to me.
There's an Irish sheep as well.
Shout out.
Oh, and Walter White is the voice of one of the sheep.
Walter White, real guy.
Walter White, real guy. He voices one of the sheep. But yeah, no, it's a British film. And what was I saying? Oh, Nick Braun like was talking about how he learned about this movie. And he was like, yeah, honestly, like I don't think the film stood out as, like my agent brought up like something I really wanted to get behind, and didn't really
You
see for
really
myself.
gotta do Sheep Detectives. This will get
Yeah,
you the Oscar.
and then this agent was like, "No, hear me out. These are the writers. Like this is the director." And it was I don't remember who the director was. Oh, it was I think the producers were the guys who did Project Hail Mary, but I don't think they directed it. But they were like, hear me out. It's darker than a normal kids movie. It's got all this great story to it and stuff.
It's
And
got great
honestly,
heart.
it was good. So
It's guaranteed to get you at least a Teen Choice Award.
I could see it. A Nickelodeon like Kids' Choice gets slimed,
Yeah.
for best British accent by an American in a kids movie.
But like, can you really say that he did a good British accent? Because you're American.
I think as a Britaboo, I am entitled to say that he did a good British accent.
A
I think,
Brita.
yeah, I have final say. And honestly, my friends agreed that Nicholas Braun did do a good British accent.
Okay, case closed.
So, case closed. Well, the Sheeps solved that.
Oh,
Um,
we need the
before we
sheeps in
move on,
office.
the Sheeps and oh my gosh. The sheeps put who we have in office in office. Wake up, sheeple.
I was gonna say wake up sheeple.
Yep. You already know. If it's a joke, we're both thinking it.
CINETWINS.
Twins. Um, the only other thing I wanted to say about the dish and the spoon, shout out to the Music Box because they produced it or distributed
Whoa,
it. Shout
nice.
out
I
Music Box.
I love when a theater produces a film.
Yeah, well, because they have like a production or distribution company or something, Music Box Films. But yeah, that's my local theater. I love the Music Box, and the Music Box is where I saw Joe Swanberg and Corey Michael Smith, the Riddler,
Hmm.
talk
Who you
about
also
the
met.
Sinister Sets. Who I met the Riddler. Gotham's the Riddler, and I think I hate myself because I'm the world's biggest idiot and didn't talk to him about his revolutionary Oscar-worthy work as Chevy Chase in the Saturday Night Live movie.
Jesse, I gotta say, I'm pretty disappointed. You had
I'm the
one job.
resident, I had one job, I'm the resident SNL head, and I met the best performance from the SNL movie that I loved. That movie is fantastic. And I didn't talk to him once about it.
Ridiculous. You gotta go
I had
again.
I had to be pretentious and talk about some indie drama that he made about like the AIDS crisis that he did in between filming seasons of Gotham, and it's black and white. He's really good in it. It is a good movie. But
He
Chevy
probably
Chase was right
he he,
there.
he probably appreciated the pretentious talk more.
Yeah, he did tell me like a cute little story about it and like struggling to get it made because they didn't initially have like an actor for his dad, and it ended up being a Gotham actor because they wanted Steve Buscemi to play his dad initially, which would have been honestly so
Ambitious.
good. Yeah, I said, "Oh, that would have been awesome." And then I remembered that like it was like a friend coworker that ended up playing his dad. I'm like, right, because I kind of don't really remember much about the movie. Um, but Steve Buscemi would have been so good. I love Steve Buscemi.
Friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod, Steve Buscemi.
Let's move on. The second mumblecore movie that we watched this month was Quiet City, which I enjoyed a lot.
Yeah,
Surprisingly.
this was probably the most true to form mumblecore movie out of the lineup too.
Yeah, it was very simplistic, I think, very naturalistic. Uh
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, just about two early 20s
a
people
girl meets a
literally,
boy.
yeah, walking around the city, figuring it out.
Honestly, she was really brave for going up to him in the in the night and be like, "Hey, can you give me directions?"
Yeah, and that's what I love about these movies too. It's such a different time period where like she just has like a flip phone and she's just shown up to New York City to the Big Apple, and her
She
friend
has
is like, "Yeah,
big
I lost
dreams.
I lost my phone. Meet me at this diner." And she just has to like figure out how to get there to a place that she's never been to before.
Awesome
And the
friend.
technology in it is like so sweet
It's
and like
beautiful.
cute.
I loved all the shots of them on the phone with their flip phones. and like the
Hmm.
ringtones. It's great.
Yeah, it's really it's like it's very adorable how frozen in time like tech is in these movies. And we
Yeah.
just get this like little my cat is eating my hair. We get these little like snapshots into before like the internet kind of took over everything. And it's like, yeah, when you watch it, she is so brave, but I think also that kind of interaction was just so normal.
Mm.
Um, I think she's mostly really brave for just going to his apartment and staying there, like spending the night.
But like they did have like a whole conversation in like the diner, but they I guess they broke the ice, you know?
Hmm.
So she could tell that he was pretty sweet, kind of harmless, really.
Yeah. And I liked that there was like we never saw their decisions for
Yeah.
anything. They just, like you would just cut to they were in his apartment and she was gonna spend the night and it was like totally fine.
Yeah. And they yeah, they never like really I guess like the events unfolded in real time, but it was never really complete for us as the audience,
Hmm.
which I guess it feels quite true to real life as well. Most of the time you have conversations that like are pretty unfinished. Most of
Hmm.
our conversations they just
Yeah.
build on each other. It never ends,
Yeah.
really.
That's what I was gonna say. I think we're pretty good examples of unfinished conversations. They just keep going.
Yeah. Also, I really love the haircut scene. It was so sweet. A,
Yeah.
a very like innocent gesture of intimacy, I guess. This random person that
Yeah.
you literally just met a couple hours ago is cutting your hair.
Yeah, and it's like it's very what I loved about it was when they would get closer to his face and his reaction and you could see the thought process kind of like in his eyes of like him really having missed that like that physical touch, to
Yeah,
have somebody like do this very intimate, non-sexual thing.
yeah,
And you see him being like almost like conflicted with addressing the fact that he does miss that because like he obviously has this like breakup and is in a weird spot of like not being moved on, but not being into the girl that he had broken up with anymore. And then he just meets this like random woman. And they like, I like that there's not this initial attraction between them. It's just like she asked him for directions and then her friend didn't show up and he didn't want to leave her there alone. And he's like being, like not a capital NG nice guy, but he's being a nice guy. Um, and there's not really anything between them. She seems to have a boyfriend. There's like this somewhat like attraction that builds, but it builds very naturally of like, yeah, like in this situation, you probably wouldn't be initially attracted to him because you wouldn't be thinking about that. And
yeah.
then you spend the day with him and you get to know each other and you would start to see them maybe in a slightly different light because you're in this kind of like unique situation. And once you leave that situation, you probably would leave that attraction behind.
And you're like, you have this proximity to each other, um, in such a like short amount of time that it's like you just grow an attachment, like whether you want it to happen or not. It's very natural
Hmm.
that it's very nice. Yeah. It doesn't
Yeah.
start out as like uh, a very obvious like romance film, but it is
Hmm.
pretty romantic, I think, towards the end especially. Very sweet.
Yeah. And one thing a mumblecore flick loves to have is shots of public transportation,
It's
which
very
was
pro
in
public
both,
transportation.
yeah, both Quiet City and In Between Days, they love shots of public transportation.
Love
That's
a
really
bus.
big. Yeah, love the bus, love the train. And what I also really liked about Quiet City was all the white noise that would be in scenes. There was
Yeah.
a lot of like background hum and there was like some grainy quality to some of the shots and then that would just like randomly disappear.
Mm.
Like that kind of like noise. And I thought that made it feel very homemade because it was like, probably cobbled together by like students. And I did see a review on Letterboxd from somebody that was like, it's fun to watch this movie and no longer be like embarrassed or like, like I'm like now detached from knowing how it got made or something and like having been present for the film and probably like some background actor or just like friend. Um, but I thought that was like kind of fun to be like, yeah, like this is just like random people. Like this girl never made another thing. And I wish she had because she was so good. She was so good in it. I just loved her. Like it was this real affability that she brought to the character and she was really just magnetic on camera in a way that didn't feel like it just felt like she was comfortable in the environment and in the setting. And it was like she didn't mind or even acknowledge the fact that it was like being recorded. It just
Yeah.
felt very at ease.
Yeah, she has this uh charm that is very similar to Greta Gerwig, I think.
Yeah. Now you see why I overuse the word charming for these movies. They're filled with them. They're filled with charm.
I actually think you didn't overuse the word at all. I think you could have gone a little bit more.
I use it more. I probably
Yeah.
edited it down a little bit. I put the disclaimer in and then I was like, I need to be mindful of actually not using this word too much. But they're charming. They're charming movies.
Yeah.
I
I
really
really
like,
like, sorry, what do you think?
no, I'll let you finish your thought.
I really like that even though it was the mumblecore is very like low budget and cobbled together guerrilla style film,
Hmm.
it never really felt like a student film, I guess. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? Like student films, they have this like certain look and feel to it, but
Yeah.
mumblecore never felt that way to me. I
Yeah.
hate
Like,
student films.
well, and I was gonna say there's one good student film, and it is Lena Dunham's creative nonfiction, who the Safdie brothers were on set and helped create.
Whoa.
They're listed in the credits, like because
Support small creators.
they knew each other in like college. Dunham and the Safdie brothers. And like she has been so at the edge of mumblecore creators, and it really inspired her filmmaking style where she knew Greta Gerwig. They shared an office together. Why they haven't worked together is beyond me. Generational link up
Do
of
they even have a
like,
picture together? I can't even imagine them in the same room.
no, I don't think there's any
What is
proof of
going
them
on?
knowing each other besides famesake.
Gosh.
They share an office, and Greta Gerwig was like what Lena Dunham looked up to as an actress, and she loved her acting, and she loved all these movies. She was a fan of like Swanberg's, She had kind of like an affair, but not really, with Ty West, who was also like on the precipice of like the mumblecore creator circle. Even though he sucks and I hate him. But he inspired, as I mentioned, like Alex Karpovsky's character in Tiny Furniture, but her student film, creative nonfiction, while very much a student film, has obviously the softies who also started out as kind of mumblecore adjacent creators. Because I watched Daddy Longlegs, which is one of their early films, and it is very much like that mumblecore feel, but it is also like the high energy softy of it all where they're like just moving through things so quickly, like things just keep happening and they keep
Mm.
happening to a guy who just sucks, which is bread and
Classic.
butter. It's just guys who suck and are in situations of their own making, and they're like, why would I be here? Like, who put me in this situation? And it's like, you, my guy, you did
Why am
that.
I being divinely punished?
Yeah. But her student film is, you know, awkward, but very um I don't want to say high concept. That feels too pretentious. But like
Just operating on a different level.
I mean it's love her or hate her, it's Lena Dunham, a voice of a generation. Like she is
Literally a
operating on a
voice of a
different level.
generation.
But there's a scene where it feels very studenty, but it has also moved past it, where it also feels a little bit deliberate. And I don't think it was, but because of Lena's like suaveness with like how she is able to make things feel very personal and deliberate, like her directing style. Um, there's a scene where I think her and another character are like having sex or about to have sex, and she looks directly at the camera. And it's not on purpose, because like obviously she's trying to make a movie, but because she's directing and acting it, she looks at the camera while it's happening. And it
Oh,
works so well, even though it's an accident, because it's like she's inviting you and challenging you to look at this very imperfect, like fake intimacy happening, where it's like this is not how intimacy happens between people. This is how sex happens between people who don't know each other, and it's awkward and uncomfortable. And she challenges you by looking at the lens. And it's like it's not scripted that she would do that, but it works. Oh,
it's so
she's a genius.
it's so meta. It's wow.
Yeah. She fantastic. I can't sing enough praises. I'm so excited for the Dunham songs.
Speak on Lena Dunham's place in mumblecore. I know you spoke a little bit on that. How she was like always
Um,
in the outskirts. What about
yeah, because
tiny furniture?
I think Tiny Furniture is like, yeah, I mean, I think it is a mumblecore. It's polished and it's very autobiographical, which a lot of the genre is. It is sort of towards the tail end, which is obviously like up for debate. I think the movement ended like 2011, 2012. That seems to be when the big names kind of went on to like directing other things. Like it was harder to get, I think, recognition for the movies that were coming up trying to be in the genre. Um I think it is very much like it was a product of its time. And as that time and technology shifted and the culture shifted, like you couldn't make the same things. Like, like I think technology was advancing and that kind of ruined the look and feel of it. That people were just getting older. But like Lena Dunham looked up to these filmmakers. This is what she wanted to be making, was these movies. And I think that is part of the legacy of mumblecore, is that it is very inspiring to young filmmakers to be like, oh, I can just make a movie. I can just go out and record something, and it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to have like heart, and passion. And so I think it inspired a lot of indie filmmakers to just kind of go for it. And I mean, look at like Lena Dunham's career now, like she's very well known for the most part. And I think also even in girls, you have that very natural style of directing that does come, I think, from her like mumblecore fan roots, and also like Tiny Furniture. Tiny Furniture is really good. It's a good movie. It's one of my favorites too. I have the Criterion collection of Tiny Furniture, which has creative nonfiction in it. Like it has it as a bonus. So I have like a digital copy or like a physical copy of that student film.
You gotta show it to me sometime.
I will. But yeah, I mean, I haven't been able to watch it myself on DVD because my DVD player doesn't play color. I have a combo VHS DVD player, and my VHS works perfectly, but my DVD player only plays in black and white, which is so messed up.
I mean, it makes everything seem Cinematic if you are that kind of cinephile.
Yeah, but like sometimes I do like color in movies. And sometimes movies have good coloring, and I would like to see it.
Sometimes color is pretty good.
Sometimes color is important to the movie. I just think it's so funny that the outdated technology, the VHS, works perfect, but the like generally new still in production technology is failing me.
Nostalgia has really blinded us. Yeah.
Nostalgia is the mind killer.
I can't even remember how that monologue goes.
Neither do I. Hey, but the Dune 3 is coming out this year. Oh, big
Yeah.
movie, big year for Timothy Chalamet yet again. Another Christmas with Timmy.
So what is this? A fourth year now?
Hey, I hope we never know a Christmas without him.
Wow. That's profound. Actually, that's really profound.
And I mean it. I look forward to knowing that there's gonna be a Timothy Chalamet movie in theaters every Christmas, and that's what I do. I go see it.
With your mom.
With my mom, we are proud Timmy Christmas supporters.
Yeah, we love
There
that.
is actually, I think actually no, I've already talked about the Christmas movie that Timothy Chalamet is in as a kid. I won't bring that up again. I think I talked about it like last episode.
I have no memory of that, but that's okay. So our third uh mumblecore film is
Mhm.
I keep getting the name wrong. I keep thinking it's some other day, something like that.
No, it's in between days.
And it's a non-American film. It's a non-English film as well.
Yeah, which I thought was really important because a lot of criticism towards the mumblecore like movement. I feel like so silly calling it that, but like it really was a movement, you
This
know.
is a genre.
Yeah, but a lot of criticism that they like got flack for was how like white it is as a genre. And like that's where excuse me, that criticism against like Greta Gerwig was pulled from an article where like the other things that they were talking about was like um you needed to be like a white American to make it. And I will say it is predominantly like young, college educated white Americans making these movies. Um, but that's why I thought it was really important to show something from the genre that has really nothing to do with that and is from a different like perspective. It's like a South Korean filmmaker and like about a South Korean immigrant in Canada. It's not in English as you mentioned. And I think that like it still is very much like true to the form of mumblecore.
Yeah. I mean, I think the spirit of mumblecore is very universal, you know? I mean, like, who hasn't felt pretty lost, when they're in their young adult life or even like
Yeah.
middle-aged adult. Yeah.
Exactly. And what I liked about this movie, I will say, I think this was both of our least favorite out of
Yeah, I
the
think so.
watches. You rated it pretty low. I liked it. I think sometimes it felt where Quiet City did have that nice balance of like you don't have the discussions of the characters, but you kind of can live with them and their motivations, and it feels like you pick up on it. With In Between Days, I think it was a little too disjointed between scenes where it was too cut, cut, cut.
Yeah.
And I don't think you had enough connection between certain aspects of the movie.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I think I got a little bit lost in the later half of the film because it
Hmm.
it really just like I don't know, they kind of stopped um like being obvious about what was going on, and like
Yeah.
too many mundane things were happening. It's like, okay, I can't really follow.
Yeah, there were certain things where I ended up like rewinding because I was like, I don't quite know what happened. Like the very last scene, I rewinded it because they were laughing and then they stopped and then he left. And I don't really know what went down. I can pick up on it.
Yeah. the credits rolled and I was like, oh, okay. Is that
Yeah.
it?
So it was a little too disjointed, but I will say, similar to the haircut scene in Quiet City, I think these are very similar films in the end, which makes sense because, like
Same
they're
genre.
following that mumble pattern. But like, was the scene where she's giving him the tattoo,
Yeah.
was very intimate. And then I loved, the almost the juxtaposition of what she wants and what she's comfortable with because she clearly wants to be with like her best friend. Like she has strong feelings for him. They're obviously very close. She goes out of her way to buy like this nice like bracelet for him. She is hoping that like he dumped his girlfriend for her. Um and like she's like, we can kiss, and she tries to like put on this like projection of being more grown up than she
Mm.
is with like the tattoo, and like kissing and stuff and going to parties. But then like she is so childish in how she dresses, and then like her giggling at the thought of like them having sex was really funny, and like sweet because it's like it's just this theoretical thing in her head that like she is attracted to him, but she's like, no, like that, like I don't want to do that. That's weird.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
And
very
there's like that,
quintessential teenager.
yeah, like it's very cute that like it doesn't progress to a certain point, and like maybe it's because like he wants it to go to that point, like he obviously like gropes her like slightly in the bed, and
Yeah.
like that was a boundary crossing for her because it's very adult and more than she's like comfortable with, and then
Hmm.
he turns around and is like, oh, I just see you as a guy. It was just a joke. It's like, so it's like he
It's a
clearly has
prank.
attraction to her, but knows that she's not going to go that next step at the same time, and he's wanting that.
Yeah. Yeah. Uh, I don't really know what to say about this film. I I still liked it. I think it moved me quite a bit because I think, we've all been teenagers and it's hard to be a teenager, especially like when you are in a different place and uh yeah, and you're dealing with these like big feelings. Uh
No, but like it does speak to universal experiences. Like obviously it's about something very specific, and probably has this personal story attached to it. But it's
I
like
think in that specificity, there's also like a relatability to it, you know?
exactly. Yeah, no, exactly what I was gonna say. It's yeah, it's everybody's gone through something similar.
Mm.
Whether it's that isolation, that feeling lost, but I
Rejection.
think, yeah, at its core, it's about being rejected and just kind of that human experience. And it's like, it's not bad, it's not good, it just happens.
Yeah,
It
it's
seems
an
like,
inevitable kind of thing.
yeah, like it seems like she has this really deep relationship with this guy, they're friends and she likes him. And it feels so crushing because it's like young, what you think is first love, but really it's
Mm.
just an infatuation with somebody that you are in close proximity to.
And at the same time, she's also dealing with like her dad. And I thought they were phone calls, but maybe they were letters. But she was like speaking to her dad, and her dad was kind of not there for her the way that she needed him to be.
Yeah, I think they were letters, but I don't know. And then it didn't seem like he was responding because then also like the mom was like, how would you feel about having a new dad? So it seems like the dad was like not in the picture whatsoever.
Yeah, because
Um,
the mom also said that like he left.
yeah, you know what it reminded me of?
Uh-huh.
It, knowing that Anais Nin's early diaries when she was like a teenager were initially letters to her dad that
Mm.
she like missed and idolized, but who willingly left the family and like left them destitute and like kind of on their own. to go be with like an 18-year-old or something. But like
Classic.
that's what I was thinking of when she was writing these letters of like I was like, oh, this is such like yeah, I mean it's like a teenager experience of just like you're
You
reaching
just,
out for something that doesn't
yeah,
exist.
you just, you have, you, there's this like hole in you, I guess, a void, and you're not sure of like, what is it, you know? Because you've
Yeah.
never had it, so like, how do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a completely brand new experience. And I think there's something really beautiful about telling that kind of story. It's like everybody goes through it, but the first time you go through it, you feel so alone in it, you know?
yeah. That's really just the feeling of being a teenager.
Yeah. It feels like you were the single most like unique person. Like nobody's ever lived the life that you're living. And then it's like, no, like everybody is a
No,
teenager at one point in their life, and it always feels like this.
nobody has gone through this divine punishment.
Yeah, it does feel so individual and singular. Like I think just like the largeness of the emotions that
Yeah,
teenagers experience,
for the
you
first
know.
time. Yeah,
Yeah, and they don't know how to regulate it. They don't know how to
yeah.
react to it. Everything feels like this big end of the world, like shattering moment. And then you just wake up and you go to algebra. And you just deal with it, you
And
know.
you
But
just have
it's
to
well, you,
sit in class like with this gaping hole in your chest, and you're like, can everybody can see it, and everyone has
yeah,
that hole too.
yeah. Nobody understands me. Oh God, you couldn't pay me to be a teenager again.
No, some people want to stay teenagers, and no, no, thank you, no, thank you.
No thanks. Miss me with that Olivia Rodrigo stuff. I don't want to be a teen anymore. Being a teen girl should be
Worst thing
not.
ever.
Yeah, teen girls suffer more than Jesus.
Honestly, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. What else do we have to discuss?
That's pretty much it, really. I don't know
Yeah.
how to
Well,
round it up.
how do you feel about mumblecore as a genre?
Um,
What are your thoughts? Because this was for kind of, I like it. I know how I
yeah.
feel.
I'm the audience proxy.
Yeah. What do you
Uh,
think?
I do like it. There are some aspects of mumblecore that, have always appealed to me. I've always been into like um the Taiwanese new wave, which is very, simplistic, naturalistic,
Hmm.
everyday sort of stories. Um, yeah, I'm a fan of mumblecore.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm a fan. I think what I really like about it, obviously I approached it through like homesickness, but like all my favorite like books and movies tend to be very small like aspects of it like like it's just a person's life, and
Yeah,
you're
it's
going through it
self-contained.
with yeah, and like I think I've always been really drawn to that sort of storytelling. I'm not somebody that needs to like relate to a movie where I have to see myself in it, but I think it's a very personable relatability in the sense of like how the film is made. But like, you know what I mean? Like the differentiation of like
Yeah.
I don't need to see myself in like a character or something to like it. It's not that kind of relatability, but like I don't know, like my favorite book is like The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt, and obviously like some crazy stuff happens, but in general, it's just a guy's life. It's just the mundane things that happen as a consequence of something large happening.
Yeah.
I think that's why I kind of enjoy the storytelling side of like mumblecore films. It's just like it's just people's lives, which I've always found to be quite enjoyable.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I do love um those kind of stories where it's just people's lives. I love looking into windows, just like Taylor Swift.
I was gonna
Uh
say, every time that song comes on, I'm like, this is really true. Like, I do love to look in people's windows. Every time I walk home, I'm just looking in people's apartments.
I do that all the time. Everybody thinks I'm really creepy, but it's harmless.
Sometimes I see cats, and then I have like a little friend. There's a cat in one of my neighboring apartments that sometimes, so I have like a walkway entry to my building, and it will be in the window looking down, and I'll
Oh,
smile up at it, and it's like it's waiting to like greet people. And if I
oh,
didn't look in people's windows, that wouldn't happen.
that is so sweet. That's so sweet.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I also think little Jessie lore for the listeners. I think it's like unintentionally how I approach like my like photos that I take or like my vlogs that I make. It is that just kind of like this is
Capturing
like my
memories.
life. Yeah, like it's not polished or like grandiose. It's just like this is just like my life and like this is how I'm seeing it. And it is like it is cinematic, you know, in a way of like I want to like capture the memory, but it's not like you know, not altered in a way of like filtering or anything, but like
It's not staged.
yeah, it's just like this is just I think I just go, you know, I think yeah, that style is very present in my own like if I you know if I were to be a filmmaker this is probably the type of movie that I would be making whether I knew about the genre or not is what I'm
Mm,
trying to say.
yeah, yeah. It's very, I would say it's like quintessentially you.
Hmm.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it just makes a lot of sense. When I watch these films, I do see like threads of you in it, you know?
Oh, shucks. Warm my little heart.
Okay. You give one compliment and suddenly she's Southern.
I can't take it. It's too sweet. No, I like that because like it's that like association. Um And I like knowing that there's something associated with me. And I hope that everybody who reads the articles and listens to this, like I my biggest thing was like, yes, I wanted to talk about the genre. I wanted to expose you to some of the genre, you know, and like broaden your appreciation. But also it's been a minute since like I've kind of like sat down and watched more of like on my watch list and stuff. But like my biggest thing was like I really it does feel very quintessentially me. And I wanted that to come across of like, I really love this. I have a deep appreciation. Even if I don't love a movie within the genre, I've certainly seen mumblecore movies that are not very good. But I just wanted to be like, yeah, like I love this. It feels like important to me. I don't know. I mean, all sappy.
Yeah, I do love watching, reading, experiencing anything that my friends and family are very into because it helps you understand them more. And
Hmm.
I feel like I understand you a lot, but like watching
Yeah.
these films it's like it's a deeper level.
Yay. Yeah, now I'm shy. I would say the next movie movies that you should watch. They're both Mark Duplass. One does have Greta Gerwig because we didn't do a Duplass movie, but he's huge,
Mm.
obviously for mumblecore and friend of the pod. We love Mark Duplass.
Friend of the pod, friend of the pod.
Friend of the pod. You should watch. Well, True Adolescence, if you can ever find it. I that's you. I think you will hopefully see that movie through my eyes, and it will be a nice little journey into like
Your
my
mind.
like upbringing because it's shot obviously in the PNW. It's like it's beaches and forests that I've been to like as a kid. There's something. so beautiful about the landscape, you know. And that one really, I'm gonna be so sappy. I love to mumble. That one really hit like when I was like homesick.
Mm,
And I don't know like what the homesickness was. It wasn't me like wanting to move back to Seattle. It was just like I think I just was like longing for the memory of it, you know, and just like going to visit and stuff and just like seeing something familiar.
mm,
And that one really was like, I think, the most beautiful package that a movie could give me,
oh,
for like that feeling specifically. So I would recommend that. Mark Duplass also, it's probably like his best role. Well, not role, but like he's really good in it. The way that Gerwig is really good in The Dish and the Spoon, Mark Duplass is really good in True Adolescence. And then I think the other one that I would really recommend is Baghead, which is also a Duplass brothers. Um, and that has Greta Gerwig. That one is crazy business. Like it is so you can see the thread of Baghead to Creep in that
mm,
one,
whoa,
which because it's kind of like found footagey,
whoa.
which it
I'm
feels
into that.
very yeah, it feels very handholdy with
Mm,
mumblecore to like the found footage genre. It's not found footage, but it has that like style to it at the same
that
time.
that like maybe cobbled together isn't the right term, but it's like sort of, cobbled together. Maybe.
Yeah, it's presented in a way that it would work as a found footage, yeah, like film.
Mm,
That one is, I think you'll particularly enjoy that one. That's my like big recommendation for like you, Jazz, CINETWIN
me
number one
specifically.
specifically. Audience, I don't care. No, I'm kidding. But Jazz specifically will love Baghead.
Okay, I believe in that. I trust you.
Yeah, so that's my mumblecore soapbox.
And I hope everybody listening, and I hope you listen all the way to the end, audience. I hope the audience takes away something very useful from this. A deep
Yeah, but
appreciation at least
I hope
for
so. Even if
curiosity.
you, I think even if you, the audience, watch a mumblecore movie that we watch or talk about, and you don't like it, that's okay. I don't, it's not a genre for everybody, you know.
You can write to us your grievances at I can't even remember our email. That's
Jazz
okay.
and
Never
Jessie
mind.
Productions and gmail.com.
Yeah.
No, like even if you don't like it and you're like this genre not for me, I'm not into what they're selling. But if you can still appreciate, I think, what goes into making it and what the making stands for, that my job is done. That feels good enough to me, you know. Like I think just appreciating that it is important, this style and this aspect of like showcasing young adulthood and like real people is very important to film in a time period, especially like when we go get to look back at this style of filmmaking and production in a time where like it is increasingly harder and harder for these sorts of stories to ever be made.
Mm,
um where independent cinema is really like it exists, obviously. Like I saw, you know, relatively independent films, you know, at the Chicago Critics Fest, and I go to see them at the Music Box, you know, pretty occasionally. Like independent cinema still is made, but what Mumblecore was able to achieve was the scale of people being able to access it, which
mm,
I think is not always the same, even with streaming and the digital age. Like it was at um film festivals, you know, it was a darling of South by Southwest. Like it was in the showcasings. So people and audiences were seeing it. Like they multiple mumblecore directors got you know, awarded for independent cinema awards like numerous times. And like also with video on demand popping up around the time that these films were being made, they were put online like to buy so that anybody could watch them because a lot of times like they don't have theatrical releases, you know, and if they do, they're nobody's seeing them. They're barely making money. So you could just like buy it on like iTunes or something. And I think that has a very historical significance in like independent cinema history that we, you know, might not be seen as much, or movies are getting more and more expensive. Like, you know, Joe Swanberg was talking, he spent like $4,000 of his own money to make his first ever movie. And I think even like the most recent movie that he made was like under like $100,000 still, and that's like that's a good production for him. You know, like he's using the same crew forever, and he's, you know, just like he's shooting on film, and it's very, yeah, it's a guerrilla style approach. So
Yeah,
if nothing else, yeah.
yeah. I think, films, even student films, I have very relatively small experience with it, but they're expensive and they're difficult to make. They take a lot of time, a lot of energy. But with
Hmm.
mumblecore, it really does feel like you can do it. You can make a film with your
Yeah.
friends, and you can make it for relatively cheap. I think a lot of aspiring filmmakers, they really want to go uh 100 straight away. They want to get the best camera, the best sound equipment, the best actors immediately. But, and like a lot of aspiring filmmakers, they get pissed off whenever like people tell them, oh, you have a phone, you can just use that. But it's kind of true. You can
Yeah.
just use your phone, make a film with your friends. Just
Yeah.
do
Pick up a camcorder, digital
Yeah.
camera, whatever.
And low key, digital camera camcorder would look much better than your iPhone.
Yeah. There's just it
There's a
adds to
je
the
ne sais
aesthetic.
quoi to
There's a je ne sais quack.
it.
But yeah,
But
that's,
yeah,
yeah, I love to mumble. What can I say? I just love it. I love to mumble.
we love to mumble. We love film. We are CINETWINS.
We love movies. I don't know if you guys knew that. We love movies. We
Yeah.
don't have a hashtag. What should they comment if they made it to the end? We have always had a hashtag.
And
Comment hashtag
we be mumbling.
we be mumbling. That's long.
Yeah. I think that should be
Hashtag
the
hey,
name
I'm
of
mumbling
this
here.
episode.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Cut that out so they don't see our thought process.
Okay.
Comment. No, I don't know. You can do whatever you want. Comment hashtag
Gerwig for life. But you have to spell it
Gerwig for life.
Gerwig, the number four, Lyfe.
Absolutely, Gerwig for life. That's the comment, and you made it to the end of this episode.
Yeah.
Um, okay, well, any
Yeah.
last thoughts? Any movies you're excited to go see?
Honestly, I have no idea what's coming out soon. Uh,
Same.
Life has been too busy. I don't know what's coming out.
Yeah.
I already know in July it's The Odyssey, but that's like another month away. So
I know, and yet
years.
Matt Damon's promoting it on SNL already for a movie in 2 months. Good for him. It was a good
Well, who
episode.
who cares because he looks incredible.
Yeah, it's Matt Damon. We love Matt Damon.
We
What
love
can
Matt
I-
Damon so much. At a mere mention of him, we're both giggly and blushy already. What are we,
Stop!
Ben
That's
Affleck?
so embarrassing. So embarrassing. We literally did that. Okay, well, have a good night and
Have a good day.
thanks. Yeah, thank you. Everybody who listened, thank you. Read our articles on cinetwins.substack.com. Read my mumblecore article if you didn't already. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into it.
And
Okay.
if,
I
if
mumbled
you've
a lot.
already read it, read it again
Yeah.
and share
What's
it.
stopping you from printing it out and putting it on your wall? I don't know.
What is stopping
Uh,
you from printing it out and eating it? I
Yeah,
did.
I'm not endorsing that. All right. Follow
Don't forget to
us.
like and subscribe, all that.
Yeah, follow us on Instagram at CINETWINS with Jas and Jessie.
Yeah, Substack
Okay.
too, same thing, same deal.
Yeah, and I hope you have a newfound appreciation for mumblecore.
Why did you say it like that?
I don't know. I never know how to wrap these things up. Okay, bye.
Keep on mumbling.
Keep on mumbling. Peace and love.
Deuces.